White House, the main structure, including the West Wing and the East Wing, has undergone at least 9 significant renovations or expansions before Trump.
CrossroadsIRL.com.
Any executive authority. And more likely, this is part of what Donald Trump has been doing since day one of his presidency, running the largest pay-to-play scheme in the history of the country, and probably soliciting donations from people who've got business before the United States government. And all of this is going to have to be investigated. It will. All of this will have to be uncovered. It will. And these people are going to be held accountable, no matter how long it takes.
Yeah.
That's going to be the reality of the situation. And that's our warning to all of these people participating in this scheming to manipulate.
That's not a warning. That's called a threat. And I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. But I think for now, the Democrats have lost that privilege of being given the benefit of the doubt. We heard them say for years that they were going to sue Donald Trump. We heard Letitia James say for years how she was waiting for Trump to leave office, and then from day one, she was going to go after him and his family and his businesses. Nobody said that that was the weaponization of the justice system. It was amazing. You're holding someone accountable, and then when they try to hold Democrats accountable, it's the weaponization of the justice system. These guys are a bunch of hypocrites. They're just a bunch of hypocrites. You call it as it is. Once we see the Republicans doing the same thing, we call them out for doing the same thing. I have issues with the way the Republicans are acting out when it comes to doing what they should do now that they have the numbers in Congress to push through some conservative policies that will help the American people, and to hold, how Hakeem Jeffries is saying, people have to be held accountable. He's saying it. It's amazing that they keep giving us all this material that we will use in a few, maybe years, to remind them of the nonsense that they said about holding people accountable. And then when one of them is being held accountable, they sit in front of the cameras squealing and mewling about how the justice system is being weaponized. Remember how Donald Trump was before the courts and they all lined up with their take on how no one is above the law. So it's just hypocritical to listen to this this guy.
Dollars, and of course, to destroy the people's house. The White House belongs to the American people. It doesn't belong to Donald Trump.
Final question.
All right. So according to him, the White House is the people's house. It's what Hillary Clinton was squealing when she was giving her take on this. Meanwhile, she and Bill Clinton had a history with the White House, which I'm not going to repeat. I'll rather read reports because I heard a few things, and if we have the time to, then we'll jump on it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share if you're watching. If you're watching on Kick or Twitch, follow the account and then leave a chat. Let's know your thoughts on this story. Now, while the Democrats are screaming about holding people accountable, let's remember that cocaine was discovered in the White House under the Biden administration, and people are speculating that it might belong to a family member, and no one was held accountable. It just went poof. A certain amount of cocaine was found on the White House premises. Oh, I guess it just materialized there. Nothing to see here. Let's move on. No investigation, nothing. How is that possible? Okay. Well, let's oh my goodness. Let's look at what the whole hullabaloo is all about. Okay. This is the residence of the White House, right? And that's the West Wing. I think that's where the offices are and so on. This is the residence. And this is the part that is being demolished. All right. So, according to Hakeem Jeffries and Hillary Clinton, he's destroying the people's house. And that's the bit that is being renovated to create the ballroom. And why is a ballroom necessary, you might ask? Is because dignitaries have been visiting the White House for years, and they've had to be hosted under a tent. And according to reports, sometimes it rains and the floor of the tent gets soaked and soggy. And it's embarrassing for the president, who is hosting international dignitaries who need to see the United States in a strong light. And for them to be wading through puddles of water during a ball isn't a very good look. And so President Trump says, well, let's do something about that. And you know what? He's not touching the taxpayer money. He's not. These guys would rather burn taxpayer money on these projects rather than find innovative ways of raising funds. Now, let me play the devil's advocate here. Let's play the devil's advocate. Let's say these donors are not doing this altruistically. And I think, yes, no one does anything altruistically. People do things in order to have a favorable interaction with the powers that be. That's how the world works. Where there's a problem is where people who offer these donations and who offer help to the government get disproportional favor and are given projects where they are meant to build an airplane and the doors of the airplane fly off in midair. Where have we heard that before? Under the Biden administration. Okay, Boeing was given substantial government contracts. We know that Lockheed and company have been given a lot of government contracts. And many people who work in government leave their posting in the government and go straight into the board of many of these companies. So when Hakeem Jeffries is complaining, he should start the investigation with the people who left their appointments under the Biden administration and have magically materialized in a board seat at Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and all the other companies that did the exact same thing, but not in a public way. And that's the problem. Many of those things that happened under the Biden administration were not public. But here you have donors who are donating to the renovation of the White House. This is the people's White House, not President Trump's White House, according to Hakeem Jeffries. And that's one of the things that I will agree with. It's not Trump's White House. It is the people's White House. And these donors are donating towards the people's White House being renovated. Where is the problem there? Is President Trump going to put this section of the White House into a U-Haul and take it back to Mar-a-Lago? These guys are just they keep showing how stupid their arguments are. I don't want to call them stupid. They are just playing a game. Now, here's a CNN report in 2010. All right, there was a $376 million White House renovation during the Obama administration. Where was the Democrat outrage then? All of the outrage is manufactured. Anything that President Trump does, he sleeps in the residence, they find a way to make it a bad thing. As far as they are concerned, the White House belongs to them. The White House belongs to the Democrats. Anyone else that's in office stole it. That's the attitude of the Democrats. They can't stand losing an election. Meanwhile, they lost the election by a landslide. Like they did something that had never been done before. A Republican won the popular vote. So why are they so upset that someone who was voted into office is doing what other presidents have done for decades and it has never been a problem? They are simply manufacturing outrage. So here's CNN's report when Obama did the exact same thing.
Sounds like they're building another wing to the White House, but we appreciate.
Look at them with a smile on their faces.
It's going to happen for the next 2 years. All of the banging, the jack.
2 years.
The confusion, the noise of all places to do construction is happening right here, the front lawn of the White House.
It's a 4-year renovation project. Estimated.
So let's listen to this. Okay, so hold on. CNN says it's a 4-year renovation project. Let me ask Grok how long this project is meant to last, because it's confusing to me. See, just look at the glee on the faces of CNN. All right, hold on. Okay, yeah, I'm concerned about the future of North America. Yeah, me too. You're a citizen. I'm not, but I care. How long is the current White House? All right, so there's no clear date stated. All right, there's no clear date stated for the end of this project. So according to CNN, this was a 2-year project.
$76 million.
Sounds like they're building another wing.
Yeah. So CNN in 2010, with smiles on their faces, were so glad that Obama was demolishing the White House and renovating it. They were happy about it. But Trump does it, and he does it not with taxpayer money. He's not building it with taxpayer money, and everyone is having a meltdown. I like the fact that we can go back in history, all right, and see many other renovations that took place, all right. Now, this is what the White House looked like when Obama started his renovation. He basically gutted this entire section of the White House, all right. So let's get this straight. Now, if the layout is correct, all right, I think, was this the West Wing? All right. So according to this, he wrecked the White House to put up an indoor basketball court. I think that might be either an oversimplification or a lie. So I don't want to go with that. But this is the amount of wreckage that was visible when Obama was doing his own project. And this is the only section to be affected by new construction. I think I've gone through this enough. Many presidents have done this. AF renovated the White House. Obama renovated the White House. There were others who renovated the White House. Okay, so let's watch this and then we'll jump to the next video.
Donald Trump doesn't want you to see this picture. He's literally destroying the White House. Well, if you zoom in on the same picture, you will see the White House in the background not being destroyed. Here's another one. What is that? That's the White House in the background, standing tall and well. Here's a bird's eye view, and if you look closely, you will see that the building that's being demolished for renovation is the East Wing, which has undergone renovations and expansions under, wait for it, 3 presidents before Trump. In fact, the White House, the main structure, including the West Wing and the East Wing, has undergone at least 9 significant renovations or expansions before Trump.
And they don't tell you that. They make it seem like this is the first time the White House has ever been renovated, that Trump is defacing a historical landmark. That's the narrative that they're spreading, by the way. Trump is destroying a historical landmark of the United States. Meanwhile, they were cheering on the tearing down of historical statues, claiming that, you know, these statues represent an era of slavery. Some of these people were slave owners. Let's rip down the statues, erasing American history in real time. But they didn't complain about that. They cheered it on. They made excuses for why people were destroying historical artifacts. Hypocrites.
Like this one, or this one. Here's another one. This one happened under Truman. Here's another one, here's another one. You can go on and on.
Yep.
Now, I hope this helps, but I bet it doesn't, because as we all know, everything done by Trump is bad and never seen before. In fact, so bad that the left has to lie about it to make it sound bad.
Yeah. Do you know what? I like the fact that immigrants like me, Damon Imani, please head on over to his channel, subscribe. He does great satire, but this is not satire, it's fact. He does great content. And it's amazing that it takes immigrants like me, people like me, and others out there, Damon Imani, to stand up and say, all of this is nonsense. You should not be doing this to your country. What are you doing?
Subscribe.
Thanks for watching, liking, and sharing this video. Please subscribe, leave a super thank, and join my membership to keep me doing this. A huge thank you to my supporters listed on the screen. Thank you for your donations and membership.
Thanks for watching.